Whenever we put an epidural catheter in epidural space for labor analgesia or for postoperative analgesia or for perioperative management of anesthesia, before giving local anesthetic, we give a test dose. So what is the reason of giving this test dose? In this section, we'll talk about epidural test dose. Apart from this, anything else you want to know about the continuous epidural analgesia and labor analgesia, you can refer to our video lectures in Learn Anesthesia app. So what is the rationale of giving epidural test dose? The rationale of giving epidural test dose is to detect whether the catheter which we have placed in the epidural space has not gone into intravascular or intrathecal space. So the rationale is to determine whether the epidural catheter has been not unintentionally placed in epidural vein or subarachnoid space. So why do we fear that if epidural catheter goes into epidural vein or into subarachnoid space, what will be the problem? So if it is an unintentional subarachnoid space injection, then what will happen? We will give spinal anesthesia instead of epidural, and we give a large volume of drug through epidural. So imagine that if we give so much drug and it goes into subarachnoid space, high spinal or risk of total spinal is there. So before giving the drug, the full drug through epidural catheter, we always give a small amount of test dose to detect that catheter has not gone into subarachnoid space, right? So unintentional subarachnoid injection of local anesthetic in subarachnoid space could result in high or total spinal anesthesia, right? And if we give the drug and the catheter is in intravascular space, then what will happen? The unintentional IV injection would cause local anesthetic systemic toxicity. So this would cause local anesthetic systemic toxicity. This can also be life-threatening. So both, if high or total spinal anesthesia or local anesthetic systemic toxicity, which both can be fatal. So that's why we use epidural test dose to detect whether the catheter is safely in epidural space or not. Now, what is the implication of negative epidural test dose? That is, we have given the test dose and it seems that catheter is not in the IV or not in the subarachnoid space. Now, it rules out the possibility of epidural catheter being in these two spaces, but it is not necessary that if we get a negative result, that catheter may not be in these two places. So, though it increases the safety of our drug administration in epidural space, it does not 100% guarantee that catheter is not in IV or not in subarachnoid space. So, negative epidural test dose does not completely eliminate possibility of epidural catheter malposition in intravascular position in a vein or in subarachnoid space, but it definitely improves safety of epidural anesthesia. It definitely improves the safety of epidural anesthesia. So that's why it is recommended that always we should use the test dose. So what is the drug which we use for test dose? How do we test it? So the most common drug used is lignocaine, 1.5% lignocaine with adrenaline. Now, lignocaine is there in the test dose to detect subarachnoid malposition, and adrenaline is there to detect intravascular malposition. So, most common used test dose is your 3 ml of 1.5% lignocaine with epinephrine 1 in 2 lakh concentration. So this is the most common what we are using. So what do I mean by this 1 in 2 lakh concentration of epinephrine? This means per ml of the solution would have 5 microgram of epinephrine. So how much total epinephrine we are putting? In 3 ml, we are putting 15 microgram of epinephrine. That is 1 in 2 lakh dilution, 15 microgram of epinephrine. So just to make you more, give you a better understanding of this, how I have calculated this, let me explain you. Like, what do I mean by 1 in 2 lakh? Now, 1 in 2 lakh always means, this dilution always mean 1 gram in 2 lakh ml of fluid. Okay, so 100 milligram in 2 lakh ml of fluid. So how much in 1 ml? 1 ml would be 1000 divided by 2 lakh. So this will be 0.005 milligram per ml, which is 5 microgram per ml. So 1 in 2 lakh concentration means 5 microgram per ml, right? 5 microgram per ml. And 3 ml of this is given, plus 3 ml of 1.5% lignocaine is given. So if this 15 microgram of epinephrine goes into intravascular space, how would it present? So if it is IV placement, if it is intravenous placement, if the catheter is malpositioned in IV space, immediately the heart rate of the patient will increase in heart rate by 20 to 30 beats per minute in 20 to 40 seconds, right? And the systolic blood pressure would increase by 15 to 20 mm of Hg, right? So when I see these two, increase of heart rate and increase of systolic blood pressure over the baseline, there is a possibility the catheter is placed in unintentionally into intravascular space. And if the catheter is placed in subarachnoid space, then what will happen? We will get a spinal anesthesia in just 3 ml of 1.5% lignocaine. So we'll get the spinal features of spinal anesthesia, immediate block of a substantial level with just 3 ml of 1.5% lignocaine. Okay, now one thing we need to be cautious, that we should know our patient. If the patient is on chronic beta blocker therapy, right? If the patient is on chronic beta blocker therapy, then this would not lead to this increase in heart rate. Then we should only rely on increase in systolic blood pressure. So be aware of your patient. What are the changes which may not be seen in your patient due to some medication or due to some other reason, you should be aware of, right? Okay, now there is one drug which is only used alone to detect unintentional intravenous or intrathecal placement of the catheter, is chloroprocaine. So chloroprocaine, which is very shortest acting local anesthetic, is only LA, that can be used alone as single test dose to rule out IV or intrathecal, placement, intrathecal malposition. Okay, now we give 90 milligram of chloroprocaine 90 milligram. This is a subtoxic level for last, but the features of, it's subtoxic level of last, and but let's say feature of last will come, but it is subtoxic level. Plus this is shortest acting, so even this would produce intrathecal effect, which would be of short-lived, which will be short-lived. So chloroprocaine is the only one local anesthetic which is used alone, right? But most common what we use, 1.5% 3 ml of lignocaine with your 15 microgram of adrenaline. Okay, so now test dose where we use in every patient. Whenever we put the epidural, we try to give the test dose and then administer the full dose of your epidural, let's say local anesthetic through epidural. But one, let's say controversial thing is whether we should give the test dose in obstetric patient or not. Now, obstetric patients, if they are having the labor pain, when the labor pain happens, the patient becomes, blood pressure rises, the heart rate rises. So we may get a false positive test and we may take out the epidural catheter, though the epidural catheter may be in the right space. So a lot of people don't favor of using the epidural test dose in obstetric patient. But again, a lot of obstetric anesthesiologists use the test dose. So I would just say that what is the problem of giving test dose in obs patient and what could be the other ways by which we can give a safe epidural local anesthetic without using a test dose. So in obstetric patient, what is the problem? What is the problem? The problem is that if test dose is administered during contraction, we will have a false positive interpretation. False positive interpretation. Got it? We'll have a false positive interpretation, right? So one care we can take, we should not give the test dose during contraction. The contraction, once the contraction goes away, we can give the test dose. Now, the other problem is that if the obs patient is hypertensive or has the feature of uteroplacental insufficiency, then this combination can increase the blood pressure and can decrease the fetal blood flow. So, in those patients, we should avoid using test dose with adrenaline. So, for, let's say, if patient is hypertensive and has features of uteroplacental insufficiency, giving test dose would increase the blood pressure and can deteriorate the patient, deteriorate the fetal blood flow, right? The fetal blood flow. So in these patients whom we are expecting a uteroplacental insufficiency, we should avoid using ADR, right? So in the first problem, we should not give the drug during contraction. Here we can avoid ADR. We can avoid mixing the ADR, right? Okay. Now another thing is that whenever we give the test dose in obs patient. For intrathecal malposition detection, we should always wait for 5 minutes. 5 minutes before concluding that it is not intrathecal malposition. Now, so these are the caveats or problems when we use test dose in obs patient. Now, there are other ways by which we can increase the safety of giving local anesthetic in obs patient without using the test dose. So, the sensitivity and specificity and safety of intravascular intrathecal test dose using LA and epinephrine has been questioned due to these problems by many obstetric anesthesiologists, right? And the practice also varies between the obs anesthesiologist. There are some other alternative measures which can reduce the risk of intravascular and intrathecal catheter placement and associated complication. Now, what are those, let's say, alternative measures? If we use a special catheter, that is flexible wire reinforced epidural catheter, these have less chance of going into intravascular space. Then we use dilute LA. we use a very, let's say, combination of lipid soluble opioid and a very dilute LA for labor, like bupivacaine 0.0625% or 2.1%, or ropivacaine 0.08 to 0.1%. This would reduce the total dose of LA and would and should, let's say, if the intravascular or intrathecal injection would happen. So this will, using a lesser concentration is always beneficial. Mix opioid with it, so the analgesic effect would be better, would be good, but overall the concentration requirement will also decrease, because this will increase the safety. So that's why for liver analgesia, it's always preferred to give the combination of local anesthetic in a low dose with a lipophilic opioid. Then treat every injection in obs patient as the test dose. So give a small incremental dose, right? So as a test dose, so inject less than equal to 5 ml increments and aspirate prior to each injection. Then aspiration of epidural catheter for blood or CSF after insertion helps to detect the misplace. So be very vigilant when you are fixing, and every time you are giving a top of, always aspirate and check. Replace the catheter that results in irregular block or inadequate analgesia. So these are the important, let's say, precautions which we can take for in obs patient. Now, every precaution we take, and even if we use test dose, that does not give us 100% safety that epidural catheter is not in intravascular or intrathecal space. So always be vigilant for the appearance of complication. Do a maternal and fetal monitoring properly when you are using this, and have all the emergency measures ready in case a complication happen. That is, have the airway equipments in let's say vicinity, have your 20% intralipid emulsion kept ready in case you have to use it. So always be vigilant in monitoring. So no test dose, no test dose or safety measure is 100% effective. 100% effective in preventing the complication. So we have to, serious complication can happen. So we have to be very vigilant. So vigilance is what is required. What is required, right? So what we should do? We should monitor fetus and mother, right? We should look for any feature of complication. We should be aware what complication can happen, and be ready with rescue measure, right? So this is what is required when you are practicing the epidural analgesia, right? So this is all about the test dose which I wanted to talk. More on this topic, join us on Learn Anesthesia app. Thank you.